Okay, so here we go with the campus sustainability course, starting with part one, institutional practices and frameworks. uh, these topics, as we saw before, they are just listed. They don't even call them chapter 1 and 2 or so on, because they are just articles by different people. So it's okay, it's not a textbook in that sense. So I'll just follow each article, and as I said before, we'll just focus more or less on each article based on what I think are the critical salient points that I must convey by my own subjective choice, as usual. But I will always read the title and the abstract of each chapter, and sometimes conclusions as well. Engaging students and campus communities in sustainability activities in a major Canadian university. Obviously, what is major? We don't know. That's just their definition. Higher education institutions have the potential to engage local and global communities in transformative learning for sustainable principles and practices. However, transforming a university campus into a model of sustainable development and best practice is a challenging task. It's only possible by engaging students, faculty, staff, and the campus community, as well as local and global partners. During the last decade, Canadian universities have ramped up their efforts in order to support community engagements and partnerships. They aim to connect their research and innovation capacity with the policy and implementation challenges of partner organizations. So this is something new in terms of working on solutions for climate change and sustainability adaptation, because these are interventions of sorts in the broader community, and universities can typically be ivory towers doing research, teaching, and educating students, graduating them. They go out and make money. But what is the role of the universities in the local community itself and in the broader community? So sustainability, adaptation, and climate solutions really bring this home in terms of how important universities' role can be in building such partnerships and then amplifying the solutions. The University of British Columbia has actively pursued sustainability goals and targets for over 20 years. By establishing the University Sustainability Initiative, UBC went a step further than other Canadian universities. The paper presents an overview of the evolution of university sustainability strategy and focuses on sustainability related developments within the last decade. It discusses five on-campus and off-campus engagement programs that contribute to UBC's sustainability goals. The SEEDS program, Sustainability Ambassadors, UBC reads Sustainability, Student Sustainability Council, and Sustainability in Residence. The Greenest City Scholars at Point Grey campus in Vancouver, Canada. These programs exemplify joint efforts for promoting sustainable behavior and practices that contribute to a net positive campus and promote human and ecological well-being. Developments and findings discussed in this paper could be of value for many higher education institutions interested in successful ways to engage students, staff, faculty, and the broader community in the practice of sustainability. Lots of interesting ideas. As an academic myself who spent all my life in academic institutions in the US, now in India, I should point out immediately that this chapter doesn't have that many quantitative metrics to show whether sustainability practice for over 20 years is very successful, or how successful it is, and how it is monitored and evaluated. So you have to be careful, because I mention I'm an academician because universities often put out brag sheets that are, obviously highlight the research, innovation, and outcomes of their activities for the public, for the media, and sometimes we have to be careful because they may be overstating things, but also the last thing you want to do is to make sure academia doesn't get into the business of greenwashing, where we are saying things and actually in practice they are not being performed just as they are stated, right? Corporations and companies and businesses do a lot of whitewashing and greenwashing to appear like they are good citizens but actually not do much in reality. Universities must make sure they are not playing that game, right? So theory and methodology. Theoretical framework for the study comprises of transformative learning theory, emancipatory action research, and case study approach. Transformative learning can be defined as the capacity to change existing patterns and worldviews, to construct new knowledge collectively, to challenge and improve practice, and to critique and examine sustainability issues. So when you say change existing patterns and worldviews, this is something that has to be co-produced, since you don't want to preach something that people don't, students or campus communities don't agree with, and then you have to justify why this is a good view and why the previous view was not good, and so on. Discussing a theoretical basis for learning processes, Mezirow TLT emphasizes critical reflection, dialogue, and holistic learning. So dialogue is always important. Debate should be allowed so that the changing of the worldview happens after students are convinced. Okay, so oops, went in the wrong direction. I'll just read off specific paragraphs, so jump around a little bit. Importantly, in 2015, the Association of Universities and Colleges of Canada included partnerships, excellence, and collaboration among key commitments of PSE institutions, public sector education institutions, to address societal needs, to equip all students with the skills and knowledge they need to flourish in work and life, empowering them to contribute to Canada's economic, social, and intellectual success, which is quite a broad agenda for the universities in general. But in this context, to pursue excellence in all aspects of learning, discovery, and community engagement, to deliver a broad range of enriched learning experiences, to put our best minds to the most pressing problems, whether global, national, regional, or local, to help build a stronger Canada through collaboration and partnerships with private sector, communities, government, and other educational institutions in Canada and around the world. So even as UBC bragged that they were doing better than other universities, they are saying they do want to engage other institutions in Canada and around the world. So creative tensions are always good. Competitions are always good, but they shouldn't be barriers to collaborating and exchanging valuable lessons learned, and so on. So some of the questions: what engagement strategies are instrumental in building a sustainable work, live, learn campus community? How can a whole university approach be implemented on a large multicultural campus? How can positive change be advanced in an integrated and holistic way? As I said, these are interventions. People are asked to do things differently, so they should be convinced, and it should be done in an integrated, holistic way. What factors are important for turning a university into a living lab? We'll actually formally learn the concept of living lab in the book, in this series of podcasts later on, but as I already said in the introduction, these are places where experiments happen, research happens, activities happen, and you actually learn by doing, and there are some pros and cons to it, which we will also look at in another chapter. What strategies are useful for empowering students to be agents of positive and sustainable change? So that's the main thing. So key sustainability initiatives at UBC. In 1990, along with other leading educational institutions who signed the Talvois Declaration, you can go read what that is, UBC pledged to make sustainability the foundation for campus operations, research, teaching, and community engagement. In 1997, UBC adopted a sustainable development policy that encouraged education in sustainable development as well as sustainable practices in its daily operations, and so on. I won't read all of them. As I said, universities do tend to have brag sheets, but as I said, quantifying the impacts and sustainability of these programs and the impacts, evaluation and communications are also important. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So here are some ideas. Great people: nurturing our global community of faculty, staff, and students, enhancing inclusion within UBC community, and deepening our engagement with the indigenous partners. So be really community engaged. Collaborative clusters, interdisciplinary research clusters focusing on problems of social importance. This is very important because often ivory towers means each department is a silo where people are working in their direction, and some collaboration may happen on proposals and advising students or courses and so on. But do you really take societal problems and work on them as teams across disciplines? That's very critical. Innovative pedagogy, enriching experiential learning and research opportunities as ways to master valuable competencies. Thriving campus communities, focusing on the well-being of our UBC community, including sustainability and connectivity to our campuses. So that goes into external community connections and sustainability of transportation and so on and so forth. Health promoting universities and colleges infuse health into everyday operations, businesses, practices, and academic mandates. By doing so, health promoting universities and colleges enhance the successes of our institutions, create campus cultures of compassion, well-being, equity, and social justice, improve health of the people who live, learn, work, and play, and love on our campuses, and strengthen the ecological, social, and economic sustainability of our communities and the wider society around the campus as well as farther away. Okay, UBC's deeply held commitment to human and environmental well-being is reflected in the following goals set out in the strategic plan for the period 2015 to 2035. So it has a long-term vision. The campus housing and community development policies enable diverse and more affordable housing options for faculty, staff, and students, reducing commuting and financial stress, and supporting the development of a compact, complete, and adaptive community. So this is a good measurable plan in terms of impacts and sustainability. Integration of social sustainability demonstrates improvements in health, productivity, and quality of life of the UBC community. So a goal has to be set up with metrics and monitoring and evaluation. Innovative engagement programs strengthen linkages across the campus to generate a sense of place and support the creation of a vibrant, animated, and sustainable live, work, learn community. Overall, participation in the Greenest City Scholars Program helped UBC. I'm reading pieces that I find I have some specific point to make. We mentioned the initiative Greenest City Scholar Program. So it helped UBC students to broaden their sustainability education and led to significant outcomes to the university and to the city. That's important. It helped graduate students to acquire important competencies, for example, an ability to apply the knowledge from their own program to real-world problems and an opportunity to develop as agents of change. It built an active bridge between the university and the city and allowed students to play an important role in strengthening partnerships. It provided highly valued education in sustainable development related work experience and allowed students to make important research and policy contributions. Let me make sure I'm saying ESD correctly. I always read these and try hard to remember them, but sometimes I don't. It's definitely got education sustainable development, but okay. No, where is ESD? See, this is what happens when you try to do this in real time. Implementing ESD. They don't have a list of acronyms, so you have to just catch it and hold to it. Let me just try to do this. I'm sorry for being clumsy, but so higher education institutions, SEEDS program, we read the abstract. See, it doesn't even define it. This is horrible practice. When we write papers, if the acronyms are not defined before they are used, we always jump up and down. So it says ESD, but is not defined here. It does have it in the text. It is education either it's education for sustainable development or education and sustainable development. It cannot be and. So key ESD developments in the last. Why do you have not defined it? Seriously. Let me Google it. I'm really wasting time now, but unfortunately, no, that's electrostatic. you Google it, you get electrostatic discharge. Education, sustainable development. Education for sustainable development, ESD. So there we go. I had it right. Sorry about that. Anyway, it's fun. I'm just starting the new course. So okay. So it provided highly valued ESD related work experience and allowed students to make important research and policy contributions. It was expanded because the city helped to establish connections with the city's other partners to encourage them to work with UBC. Oh, I didn't realize I had so much text from this chapter. The transformation from place of learning to a vibrant, sustainable work, live, learn campus was facilitated by leveraging the community's best assets and diverse skills of students, faculty, staff, and local residents. This was achieved through delivering programming for all ages, building community capacity, and engaging the community with outreach initiatives and local partnerships. So this is more of the bragging, but here on the research level, UBC researchers advanced sustainability scholarship. Again, very broad statement. On the organizational level, UBC committed to a deeper integration of its operational and academic effort, which is practical and important. Of course, you need metrics to see how it worked or didn't work. So it's already 17 minutes, even though I spent 5 minutes looking for ESD, education for sustainable development. So let me leave this here. Other chapters shouldn't all take so long, because then we'll have a very long series of podcasts. So let's meet in the next podcast.